My name is Lauren. I'm sitting in a coffee shop near my office on a Saturday morning, looking out the window at the people passing by. It's a normal, unremarkable day, and for the first time in years, that feels like a luxury. The mortgage money that used to go out every month is now safely in my savings account. I've got an emergency fund for the first time, and I'm paying down my student loans ahead of schedule. I even booked a flight to Portland just because I wanted to see the ocean. But it wasn't always like this. It all started with a voicemail. It was a Tuesday night in October. I was sitting cross-legged on my bed in my studio apartment in Boston, finishing up a risk assessment report for a client. My job was to spot danger before it hit, but I never saw this coming. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. One missed call from Mom, then the voicemail notification. I almost didn't play it. Mom rarely called me directly. She usually called my younger sister, Lily, who still lived close to our parents. Lily's name was always the center of attention in our family group chat. When Mom needed something from me, it was usually a short text like, "Call me back," or "Send money, please." But this voicemail felt different. I pressed play, and Mom's voice came through the speaker, flat and rehearsed. "Lauren, this is your mother. We've made a decision as a family. You're no longer welcome here. Don't come back. We're moving on without you." It was only 31 seconds long, but it erased years of me being the reliable daughter who paid every bill and never said no. I listened to it twice, then texted back, "Okay." What they didn't know was that okay wasn't surrender. It was my way of giving myself permission to stop being their safety net. Over the next few days, I started to dig into our family's financial situation. I created a spreadsheet titled Family Financial Obligations L. Thompson. Line by line, I realized how much I'd given over the years. The mortgage on the family house, which I'd been paying $1,900 a month for 3 years, was a whopping $68,400. Health insurance for Mom and Dad cost me $650 a month for 5 years. That's $19,500. Lily's car loan was another $400 a month for 15 months, totaling $6,000. And then there were all the emergencies: Dad's knee surgery, the leaky roof, Lily's security deposits. By 2 a.m., I had it all on one screen, and the total in the bottom right corner was $145,000. But that wasn't even the worst part. I found out that I was the co-signer on the mortgage, owner on the deed, and the sole trustee of Grandma's trust fund, which had $88,000 set aside for the family's education and medical needs. Grandma trusted me with the money because she knew I was responsible. The next morning, I logged into our joint checking account and noticed that the contact email had been changed. Lily had swapped out my email for hers 2 days before the voicemail. And in my inbox, I found a forwarded notification from the title company. They were processing a beneficiary amendment to remove me from the property deed, submitted by Lily as an authorized family representative. I never authorized anyone to do that. It became clear that Lily didn't want me out of the family. She wanted me off the paperwork. The voicemail was just a distraction while she tried to steal my share. But I work in risk analysis. I spot fraud patterns for a living. Lily had made a huge mistake. Let me take you back even further. When I was 15 and Lily was 11 during summer break, our parents sat us down. Lily was going to a dance camp that cost $350 for 4 weeks, and I was supposed to stay home and take care of the house while they worked. Asked if I could go to a coding camp at the local college, which was free for students with good grades. I qualified, but Mom said, "You're the older one. Someone has to be here for your sister." I understood then that Lily got the fun and I got the responsibilities. When I made the honor roll in high school, Mom just said, "Good. Keep it up. One of you needs to make real money someday." But when Lily failed a test in middle school, the whole family rallied around her. Dad took her for ice cream, and Mom sat with her, stroking her hair and saying, "You're more than a test score, baby." I was in the next room, hearing every word, but no one ever said anything like that to me. After I graduated from college at 22, I got my first real paycheck. But that same evening, Mom called and said Dad had injured his back at work and needed $2,200 for the hospital bill. I sent the money without hesitation. A few weeks later, Lily needed a security deposit for her new apartment. When I asked Mom if Lily had any savings, the silence on the other end was deafening. Then she said, "She's your baby sister. She's starting out." So, I sent the $1,300, even though I had $40,000 in student debt. Over the next few years, I kept sending money home. It was always urgent, always just this once, but it became a monthly thing. They never said thank you. Mom even forgot my birthday one year, but threw a big party for Lily. I was asked to order the cake and pay for it. I ate ramen for a week because my checking account was empty, but I didn't tell anyone because I knew Mom would say I was being dramatic. 3 years before the voicemail, Mom called and said they wanted to buy a house. Their credit was bad, so they asked me to co-sign. I said yes because I believed in family. I didn't hire a lawyer or ask for a written agreement. From that month on, the $1,900 mortgage payment came out of my account every month. Lily moved into the master bedroom, and I slept on the pull-out couch when I visited. About 6 months before the voicemail, I overheard Mom talking to Lily during a family call. Mom said, "Once we refinance, we can get some money out. Don't worry about Lauren. I'll handle her." I told myself I'd misheard, but my hands were shaking when I put the phone down. Grandma died 4 years ago. 2 months before she passed, she updated her trust and named me as the sole trustee. Mom wasn't happy about it, but she didn't say anything in front of the lawyer. A few years later, Lily asked for $16,000 from the trust for a business idea. I said no because the trust was for education and medical expenses. Lily cried and called Mom. Mom called me and said, "Your grandmother would have wanted to help Lily. You're being controlling." I told her I was just following the trust document. Lily didn't talk to me for 2 months and spread rumors that I was hoarding Grandma's money. 2 months before the voicemail, Lily called me, sounding all sweet and sisterly. We talked for 40 minutes, and then she let her guard down. She said, "Lauren, I just need you out of the trust and off the deed. Then everything will be simpler for everyone." What she didn't know was that I record important calls as a professional habit. I saved the recording in 3 places. After I discovered the forged signature on the deed amendment, I knew I had to take action. I talked to Marcus, a senior colleague at work. He'd been in a similar situation and gave me the name of a lawyer, Janet Harris. I called Janet the next morning. She went through all the documents I gave her and told me I had 2 problems and 1 advantage. The problems were the forged signature and the unauthorized refinance. The advantage was that I was the co-signer, co-owner, and sole trustee. Nothing could happen without my real signature. She laid out a plan. First, notify the bank about the forged signature and freeze the refinance transaction. Second, freeze all distributions from Grandma's trust. Third, stop the automatic mortgage payments. Fourth, send a cease and desist letter to the family, stating that I was withdrawing from all shared financial obligations. I followed the plan. The bank froze the refinance, the trust was locked, and the mortgage payment stopped. It didn't take long for them to notice. I started getting missed calls and texts. Mom, Dad, and Lily were all panicking. Their lawyer even... I hung up, realizing that the mother I'd always hoped for didn't exist. A few days later, we had a meeting at Janet's office. Mom, Dad, Lily, and their lawyer were there. I presented my case, showing the spreadsheet of my contributions and the forged signature. When Lily tried to deny it, I played the recording of our phone call. The room went silent. Mom finally realized what had happened, and Lily broke down. I told them that the trust would be transferred to a professional management firm and that I was withdrawing as co-signer on the mortgage and trustee. They had 60 days to find alternative financing or make a decision about the property. In the end, the family's refinance fell through, the trust was secure, and the insurance lapsed. Dad called me a few weeks later to apologize, but then he asked if I could extend the co-signer arrangement for the house. I told him the answer was no. 3 months later, here I am, enjoying this unremarkable Saturday morning. I've learned that family isn't a blank check, and setting boundaries isn't a punishment. It's the truth, delivered without apology. I don't know what the future holds for my family, but I'm finally free. If you've ever been in a similar situation, I'd love to hear your story in the comments below.